going on, everybody? It's Jason Hodzik, and today I have a really good video for everybody. If you have a pretty much any N55 and you know what we deal with oil temps, or pretty much oil starvation issues, this can even pertain to probably some V8s out there, like the S55, I believe that's what's in the E92 M3. Rod bearings, major issue with these cars. A lot of N55, N54s, even not even seen that much problems like that on the S55. It's all linked to the high oil temps. That's what's been acceleratingly damaging these bearings over the course of time. And that's a very expensive job. You're talking about at least $2-3 grand at least just to go get it done, because you gotta drop the subframe, take the oil pan, you gotta get new gaskets because you take off the oil pan, you gotta change out the gasket every single time, you can't reuse them. It gets very expensive. So today we're gonna be conquering this task with some preventative maintenance to put that off for as long as possible. Honestly, it's definitely worked out for me. Right now we're on 101,000 miles. I've had rod bearings on lock. I have them in the house for over a year and a half now. Just because when it does start to show real signs, that's when I'll go and change them. But we haven't had that issue yet, so let's get right into it. So what we have here is the Muscleman, whatever. I'm not sure how you call it. They're pretty much, I believe this is the oil temperature section of the oil filter housing. Right here it comes with the new oil filter housing gasket, 2 new O-rings that go on those oil cooler lines. Got a new oil plug, magnetic one from Turner. I also have another magnetic oil filter cap as well. Pretty much match everything. That's not going to be in until November, unfortunately, but I do have this in now. This is a pretty simple install. It comes with 3 new bolts along with the one that holds in this in here. I already have a lot of the stuff off of the car already. So for this install, all you really have to do is take apart this section here, take out the gasket. I have this in here so no dust is getting in here, because we have the whole car in pieces. You do not need to take any of this off. All you need to do is take out the intake here and this section here. We do have a new billet oil filter cap, waiting for that to come in, so we'll match that right there, the Muscleman temperature gauge. So let's get right into it. We already pretty much undid it, 3 bolts, boom. And all we have to do is connect these hoses. And it's pretty simple install, real easy, definitely much more accessible than this oil cooler here, because you would have to take off the bumper and do a bunch of stuff. Here all you gotta do is pop the hood, use a screwdriver, flathead to pop out the intake there, and just get these 3 bolts. See, I'm gonna get these 3 bolts pretty much bolted up here, and we'll get right to it. So yeah, let's get this install going. Pretty much how it's gonna look when it's on is just like this, and boom, this actually drops your temperatures 20 to 30 degrees Celsius alone. I actually hosted a meet one day, very spontaneously, same day, like within the next few hours. I just said, fuck it, let me go park in a parking lot for some time and just see what happens. And my friends did pull up. We had one person though come from the car page, and he actually had a 435i, and he had this. Back when I was originally getting my Mazdas together for this car, they didn't have this even pre-release, talked about, nothing. This was not something that was in production when I originally, got all of the other stuff. And if that was the case, I definitely would have grabbed this much sooner than I grabbed this. There's one thing about AN6 lines is, it's smaller. The tube is technically thinner. So your temperature may not drop as much as you want it to drop, just based on what you're seeing, just because those lines are thinner, so the oil moves quicker through them. That one thing though is it holds a more consistent temperature through those lines. So whether your temperature may go down very lightly, and that was before I put max cooling on in my tune, it held it there consistently. I knew from just doing sends and drifting and stuff how long I can go straight until I get the car puts itself in limp mode just because of the temperature being too hot. So yeah, no, that's a little thing, if you want to do that as well, you can do the oil cooler specifically. Before that came out, the oil cooler is definitely, it's twice the price. It's twice the price. So you choose which one you want to do. If you can do this and drop 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, that's more than happy for those rod bearings. And I think they'll last longer than they should. I got the oil cooler on my car and an intercooler, and those also drop the temps. So coming from someone who only had that on, he dropped his temps alone by 20 to 30 degrees. For me, it didn't really drop anything until I threw max cooling on in the tune. So this should drop us even lower than what we're already at. So I honestly can't wait. This thing's gonna look nice, look beautiful. The engine bay will look much more aesthetic. It's all dirty and stuff. I gotta clean it up. So yeah, now let's get to the install. Here we got our gasket. We're gonna throw a gasket in right now. I've been waiting to do this for such a long time, ever since I hosted that one meet. Just because this piece, honestly, I looked at it, I'm like, what the fuck? So you get how it kind of is gonna look. That's it with, that's how it looks with, you know, we got 3 of the bolts pretty much hand tight in there. We still gotta get those lines. For us, we already have braided lines that came with the oil cooler, so we're just pretty much, got a piece down here. This is where our lines originally went into, so we're gonna clean this stuff up. Boom. Definitely tell we were actually missing an O-ring, which is a great find, and that explains why that leaked before, in all honesty. And yeah, no, that's freshly clean, nice and clean. Before we can install it completely, I'm gonna get the lines on here, and then I'm going to pretty much torque down all we got up there. So see y'all in a second. Down completely. This is what it's gonna look like. I mean, we're gonna have a matching cap, oil filter cap coming in as well. Like I said, that's not gonna be until November, and that's looking sick. I mean, with the lines and everything, you know, we got the ignition packs, the CTS turbo's gonna be right here. That's fucking intake. Oh, you see some of it, but it's all dusty in here. But wow, that looks good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Got my seal of approval, that's for sure. So this is a big thing for future proofing. You know, temps are like the be-all end-all for the most part for a lot of things. When it's hot, the temperature's too hot, things are gonna get funky. So we're trying to avoid the funkiness by just, you know, future proofing everything. You know, we did all the coolant and everything. This was the only one that wasn't installed on the car. I'm glad to know now it is. I'm gonna, you know, do initial startup, see if there's any leaks or from these lines or whatever, if I have to pass them down some more. So yeah, you know, our billet cap, we had to return it, waiting on a new one. Our thermostat, unfortunately, I cannot test it with this car right now in the state that it is, and it's going to be a long time before this car is up and running like it should be for me to go out, do some runs, do some pulls, and really test out pretty much the temperature difference. So it is what it is, unfortunately. I just got to keep pursuing, keep pushing. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't know beforehand. Like I said, I had a meet, I hosted, someone came up with 435i, showed me it, showed me the temps, showed me everything. So listen, take it with a grain of salt, take it as it is. This still isn't an excuse to not do your rod bearings. Definitely do them, but this will help you buy a little bit more time on those bearings. Still stock up just so you have it in the future, but you know, always take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not responsible if you spin a bearing. I might have spun a bearing just now just because of the nonsensical stuff going on in this garage right now. I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out. So, you know, if you enjoyed this video, hit like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's not like the typical hype videos that we usually shoot where we go do some pulls, slides, and do it all, but unfortunately we cannot. This car is in pieces, broken in this garage right now. So we'll leave it at that. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, everybody be safe, stay suave, and I'll see you in the next one.